And we're live now. Today I'm joined by former WBC light heavyweight champion and former US Olympian Montell Ice Griffin. He's going to tell me about his boxing career. He's also going to tell me about his upcoming book. So first off, Montell, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing fine, brother. What's going on?
Yeah, it's all good. Obviously, we've got this situation here in England with COVID. I know it's affecting you out in America. What's things been like out there at the moment, mate?
It's 5 o'clock right now. It's actually 50 degrees outside. We had a snowstorm this whole weekend, but I guess the snow gonna start to melt a little bit. But that's about it.
Yeah, because it's obviously it's what time is it out there? It's about 5 p.m. now because it's 11 p.m. out here in the UK.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock.
So, Montell, how did you get into boxing originally? Then, just for your fans who don't know that.
It's kind of like whenever you talk, it's kind of we're breaking up a little bit.
Is it? Yeah. Yours is a little bit grainy as well, Montell. For me.
You said what?
Can you hear us okay?
It's kind of breaking up a little bit.
Right. We can do it again another time if it's struggling. If you're struggling a bit.
No, we good. We'll make the best.
Right. So how did you first get into boxing, Montell?
Well, my father started going to Johnny Coulin's gym in his early 70s, to teach my brother self-defense. And he ended up working with Johnny Coulin. He fell in love with the game and ended up buying the gym. And he turned to Windy City Boxing Club in 1973. So I was 3 years old, so I was going to the gym with him every day. And, when I got a little bit old, I was 5 years old. And I was watching movies of fighters and everything. Joe Louis, Ray Robinson, Willie Pep, Jersey Joe Walcott. And then he showed me a video of a guy named Cassius Clay, and it blew my mind. And I was 5 years old. I watched that, and then my father took me to go meet Muhammad Ali, and after that, I was stuck. It was something I knew I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
So, when did you first realize that you were talented as a boxer? Because some people say it's nature, some people say it's nurture, some people say it's a little bit of both. When did you realize that you had the ability to be a champion?
Well, I learned how to box as a kid, but my father passed away in 1983. I was 12 going on 13 years old, and I just grew up as a regular teenager, drinking beer, hanging out in the streets, going to the park, shooting ball. So I wanted to come back, make a comeback, and I said, well, they told me I was good when I was little, but you never really know. So I just took a chance, and it worked out.
So, what age were you when you made the comeback? And tell us about your journey towards the Olympics, because that sounded like quite an interesting journey in itself, which it wasn't an easy kind of route to go through in the great United States boxing system.
Well, yeah, I came back in 1991, so I took off 8 years, and I didn't fight for I didn't fight for 8 years, but I came back as a heavyweight. I was 207 pounds. I got down to 201, and I fought my first two fights as a heavyweight. My first two fights, I broke my thumb, then I broke my nose. I'm like, man, this ain't going my way. But I finally got down to light heavyweight, and at the time, I thought I was still kind of chubby. I thought I was gonna make 65, but I never made it. But so I just stayed light heavyweight.
So, tell us a little bit about the 1992 Olympics, because you were on the same team as some greats like Oscar De La Hoya, and I think you won your first two fights in the Olympics, and then did you not lose on a controversial scoring system?
Yeah, man, like I tell everybody, I had an 18-year career. I fought amateur 2 years, so I fought 20 years straight. When I came back, and I tell everybody, making the Olympic team was the greatest experience of my life. I didn't fight for 8 years, and I came back in 30 fights. I made the Olympic team, and I know too many people I think George Foreman and Deontay Wilder had fewer amateur fights than 30, but with 30 amateur fights, you know what I'm saying? Not me not being a super heavyweight who could punch, so I thought that was pretty impressive.
Oh, mate, getting the Olympics full stop, very impressive. Never mind with so little experience. So let's talk about your pro career then. In your first, you won your first 15 fights, and you came up against the legendary James Toney, and you beat him in a controversial decision, which he tried to contest. Just run us through the start of your career, Montell.
Well, to go back to the question before, with the Olympics, fighting the gold medal, the eventual gold medal, Torsten Mai, and, you know what I'm saying, getting 3 points taken away with 45 seconds to go, and me losing my chance to win the gold medal was very, very hard on me, and it still bothers me to this day. But as far as turning pro, I sparred James Toney as an amateur in 1992. He was gonna be my manager, and I did pretty good with him. So when I got the phone call to fight him 3 years later, I was like, man, I know I have gotten better, but I know he probably still the same. I don't think he was the 2-time world champ, so I didn't see him get no better. But I know I had got better and got more experience, so I took the fight. I want, I didn't mind fighting him, and I want, to fight my idol because he was my favorite fighter. But as far as controversy, I don't know where that come from. I fought James Toney 2 different times, 6 different judges, and not one of them ever voted for him to win. So I don't know why they keep saying controversial. Not one judge voted for him.
Well, see, Montell, I've always thought you don't get the credit that you deserve. And personally, I do think that you beat James Toney both times. But I think the reason it gets called controversial is because, especially the first time, it was competitive. And James Toney is such a well-loved legend by so many boxing purists.
Well, like I said, they going with their heart. I fought him twice, 6 different judges. Not one judge had him win. So I just leave it at that. Yes, I feel I'm one of the most disrespected, underrated fighters in history. After taking off 8 years, I came back in 1991. I made the Olympic team with 30 amateur fights. I beat James Toney with 14 pro fights. All that happened in 4 years after me being off for 8 years. So, like I said, I feel like I don't feel like I never got the credit I deserve, but it is what it is.
So Montell, you never fought for the world title until after beating James Toney again. Why were you not fast-tracked to a world title fight after beating James Toney the first time?
Man, you tell me. After I beat James Toney the first time, I didn't have one TV fight. I was not called. He was on TV regularly. I was not called to fight on TV. It's like I've been treated like a fluke my whole career because it's like people can't believe the things that I did. You know what I'm saying? Like make a limit team, beating James 14 fights. Then I come back a year and a half later, beat him again. Then beat Roy Jones. You know what I'm saying? I got the win over Roy Jones. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Things just didn't go my way.
Well, let's just see it. Let's get into this. You actually beat James Toney and Roy Jones Jr. back to back, which is arguably the greatest ever string of victories in the light heavyweight division ever.
Well, so, it's kind of crazy because like I told Roy Jones, I said, bro, your fans love you so much that they hate me because you hit me on my knee. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't do nothing but laugh. So yeah, I just never got no credit. He did knock me down. First of all, he didn't knock me down. I took a step back and I took a knee just to clear my head because I got hit in the back of the head. And he walked up to me, hit me with 2 shots. You know what I'm saying? He got disqualified. And, it is what it is. And then, because of the rematch, because I lost the rematch in the first round, so nobody want to give me credit for the first fight. But it's kind of crazy because, you know what I'm saying, I was not able to warm up the second fight. It's people who I got witnesses, who was guys who was there at the fight. they rushed me in. They didn't let me warm up. I lost in one round, and they just tried to, kick me to the curb. But it is what it is. I got a book out about my life. It's called The Ice Life, and you can read about everything that happened with James Toney, Roy Jones, different things. Different bad things that that happened in my career. But it is what it is, bro. But like I said, you go to theicelifebook.com and read the story. I just got stabbed in the back, for my whole career.
Well, Montell, I'll be interested in getting a copy of that and reading it myself. But and I'll put a link in the description for your book as well. But with the Roy Jones Jr. situation, like a lot of people forget that you were beating him on two of the judges' scorecards in that first fight. And Roy Jones had the toughest fight of his career up to that point, and then he knocked you down and hit you when you were down. And because officially you beat him by disqualification, you never got the credit for that win.
Yeah, but he did knock me down. I took a knee, and he hit me on my knee. So, but it is what it is. But yeah, I don't get credit for a lot of things I did in this sport.
Well, let's talk about your career after that, Montell, because out your next 11 fights, I think, or 12 fights, you won 11, and you lost one split decision to the excellent Eric Harden, a fight that you should have won, in my opinion. And then you came.
Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles both told me they saw the fight and I won. I mean, it was crazy. It was boring. It was boring. The man ran like a girl the whole fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. I just put you like this. I ended up having a conversation with the promoter, and I found out why I lost, and I'll just leave it at that.
Well, I know you may not want to say because I've heard a lot of controversial things that the fans don't hear about what goes behind the scenes in professional boxing. I'm friends with a lot of pro boxers myself, and I've heard that little trick what you said about the rematch with Roy Jones about warming up. Darnell Boone, a really good light heavyweight, was on my podcast recently, and he was talking about that happening to him. But let's talk about the Darius Michalowski fight when you were doing really well.
I was winning every round on every scorecard. American referee Joe Cortez comes stops the fight after the bell ring for what? You tell me why he stopped the fight. He said I was taking too much punishment, but I was winning the fight. Like I said, man, my whole career I got stabbed in the back. That's just another one. It's so many I could just keep adding on.
Why do you think that is, Montell? Why do you think that you weren't given a fair shake compared to other fighters?
I don't know, man. I was one of the guys that, everybody can't be a star. So everybody can't be Oscar De La Hoya. So I take another route. And a lot of times things didn't go my way.
Well, just in closing, Montell, I know that you were trained by the legendary Eddie Futch, who's one of the greatest trainers of all time. And it must have been amazing working with him. And obviously, out of all the amazing fighters you faced and all the amazing trainers you had, who would you say was the greatest trainer of your career? And which fights would you say is your greatest win that you're most proud of, Montell?
Like I said, Eddie Futch and Thea Torrance. Eddie Futch, Thea Torrance, Hedgeman Lewis, Kenny Kroom, Tim Griffin, my brother. They all helped me in my career. Didi Armour, he was my trainer before Eddie Futch, Eddie Davis. So I got a lot of experience, got a lot of help and working. I got a chance to pick up a lot of things. So, but Eddie Futch and Thea Torrance, the man trained Joe Frazier, Larry Holmes, Michael Spinks, so Mike McCallum. So just to be in the same, just to be mentored with them guys, as being his pupil, is great to me. Eddie Futch was a great man. I felt very confident, in fights and in the gym when he gave me instructions. And you know, I got mad respect for him. Think I think Emmanuel Stewart and Eddie Futch are the two best trainers that I've seen in the last 50 years.
Well, I completely agree with that statement. And what do you feel about this Legends League with Roy Jones Jr. fighting Mike Tyson? Would you be interested in doing that yourself, Montell?
I would love to do it. I've been staying in shape. I'm keeping my weight down low. It's actually been a little small talk about me facing somebody. I'm not gonna really get into it now unless it comes out. But yeah, I would love to do that. I was like a kid in a candy store watching Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. I just went back to their prime when I was a kid watching them, and before I fought Roy, just watching the guys, and it was a great night to me. I thought it turned out really good. Only thing I hate what happened to Nate Robinson because that's something he wanted to live with, for the rest of his life. But that's part of a boxer. It's a lot of boxers that have been knocked down or knocked out or whatever, or stopped. So just something that we got to deal with.
What do you think about that Jake Paul and Logan Paul, the two brothers who are fighting and they're getting a lot of hype? What do you think about that, mate?
You said what?
Well, you mentioned Nate Robertson there. What do you think about Jake Paul and Logan Paul, his brother, and those two fighting?
I'm sorry, that last bit just keep breaking up. I can't really hear what you're saying.
Sorry, I was just going to say what you think about Jake Paul and Logan Paul fighting, Montell.
Oh, I don't have no problem with that. I know a lot of boxers that get mad and upset about that. We're in a social media age where these guys are superstars. They got 18 million followers and everything. So if they put a fight on, the promoter know they're gonna make money. So it's all about business, man. It make dollars, it makes sense. I don't have no problem with Jake Paul or Logan Paul. But I guess there's a lot of boxers out here that haven't made money like they made, so they're a little upset. But I don't have no problem with it.
So if just quickly tell us about the book then. Before we sign out, just tell us about the book, Montell. Give us a few details about that.
Like I said, my book is called The Ice Life. The link to the book is theicelifebook.com. Theicelifebook.com. I'll send you the link when we hang up. It's just a story about a kid. I'm not the greatest fighter ever. I don't have the best life ever. But I just thought I had so many people over the years tell me my life, was a movie or a book because of everything that I went through. From 5 to 13, I hung with Muhammad Ali on a regular basis. I was in my father's gym growing up, and my whole life totally changed. And I made up my mind to come back to boxing and went through a lot of stuff to make that happen. But I think it's a great read, and I just think everybody should try to get it and read it, and I'm sure you'll be happy about
it. And where's that available, mate?
Theicelifebook.com. That's the link.
Fantastic. I'll put that in the description. Well, today's guest was Montell Griffin, the legendary former world champion. Thanks very much, Montell, and I wish you all the best. And have a nice day, and take care, mate. We'll call it a wrap at that.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.